If all you've ever known is survival, if your whole life has been about keeping others comfortable, making others comfortable, while you stayed silent, if you learn to be small because that's what kept you safe, I see you. This video isn't just about you becoming confident, it's learning how to exist without apologizing for it. Because some of us weren't raised with freedom, we were raised in chaos, in fear, in noise. And we survive by shrinking, by overgiving, by learning how to read a room before we ever learn how to read ourselves. This isn't a motivational speech. This is a love letter to the version of you who thinks that confidence isn't for me. And this daily practice didn't come from any book. It came from breaking down in silence and finally deciding to come back to life. So let's talk about self-doubt, because that is the secret weapon that has murdered a lot of destinies, a lot of potentials. Self-doubt isn't something you are born with. It is something you learn, you inherit. When the world tells you that your voice doesn't matter, when you are being punished for expressing yourself, or ignored when you need a love. So you learn to watch, you learn to edit, you learn to survive, you learn to please before you breathe, you learn to become what every other person wants, but secretly forgetting what you need. And over time, survival becomes your personality. But here's the thing no one tells you. You are allowed to want more than survival. You are allowed to want peace. You are allowed to want space. You are allowed to feel safe in your own damn body. But you can't think your way into self-worth. You have to practice being alive again, because that is what this routine did for me. And here's the daily routine for people who have only known survival. Let's talk about the morning reconnection. Every morning before anything, I breathe. Not a deep, perfect meditative breath. Just one solid breath. Where I'm not rushing, where I'm not hiding, where I'm not fixing or trying to prove anything. I sit down and I place my hand on my chest and I whisper to myself, you don't have to be strong right now. You just have to be here. Because when you have been in survival your whole life, even being still feels unsafe. This 1 minute every morning reminds my nervous system that I am not in danger, that I am not in pressure, and that I'm allowed to be a human. Here comes the soft moment that reminds me that I'm alive. I don't work out for the looks, not for the shape. I move my body to remember. I roll my shoulders, I stretch my neck, I walk slowly outside. Because for years, my body only moved in fear, in tense, in tight, in guarded. But now I move with softness. I move like I belong in this body. Even if I don't believe in it yet, I act like I do, because I've come to understand that my emotions follows my motions. That when my body begins to feel safe, then my heart follows. Here comes the midday pause. Where did I shrink today? During the noon, I check in and I ask, where have I made myself small today? What truth did I silence in order to stay light? Because when you have lived in survival, shrinking is a reflex. It becomes a default thing. But each moment I pause and name it, I reclaim a little more of my voice. Even if I didn't speak up in the moment, I speak the truth now. And the truth, that is what builds self-worth. Then comes the nighttime forgiveness for the girl who had to survive again. Every night, I sit quietly to honor the version of me that survived again. I don't journal to fix myself, I write to witness myself. I write what I felt but couldn't say, what I needed but didn't ask. One thing I forgave myself for, because survival is still in my body, but so is the invitation to rest, to belong, to be seen. And every night I show up for myself, I'm saying to myself that I am worth being loved without performance. And here's the deep shift. This daily routine didn't make me perfect, it made me present. It didn't erase myself that overnight, rather, it gave me a way to love myself even in the doubt. And eventually, I stopped walking like a ghost in my own life. I stopped explaining everything. I stopped begging to be chosen, because I realized I can't be fully alive and still be fully pleasing. So I had to choose me, even if no one clapped, even if no one understood. I walk like I belong to myself, because I do, and so do you. So if you have spent your whole life surviving, this is a permission to begin living again. Not perfectly, not boldly, but slowly and softly in your own reading. This routine isn't a formula, but a doorway for you to come back to the body you abandoned, to the voice you silenced, to the heart you buried under expectations. And if you are ready to start, just take a deep breath and whisper to yourself, I'm allowed to exist in peace. And let that be your beginning. You don't necessarily need to believe it yet. You just need to keep showing up for her. She is in there and she is worth everything. She's worth everything. She's worth the discomfort, she's worth the sacrifice, she is worth the showing up. And I know you can do this. I know you can do this. So if this message really spoke to your heart, if it really touched your soul, I want you to give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to share this video to someone you love or someone you know that really needs to hear this. And don't also forget, you can do this. I am this one person that is rooting for you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.